guys, I just woke up. I'm in my robe. I have my slept-in hair that's got all of the weird kinks and some grease and this awesome part happening. Like, I seriously must have slept like this last night in order to get that awesome kink. So great. Love it. But I am going to teach you today what to do for day 2 after you've scrunched your hair. Yesterday I scrunched my hair and it looked really cute. I'll probably insert a picture over here of what it looked like. But then after I slept on it, it's turned into this. It's kind of dreadlocky, which, don't get me wrong, I love that looks. But it's not actually dreadlocks, it's just trying to be dreadlocks. If we're gonna do dreadlocks, we might as well just go all the way, not do this in-between look that I have right here. So I'm gonna show you what you can do and some tips and tricks for how to style your hair after it's been scrunched, because there's so much product in there when you scrunch it and it's usually pretty dry, especially on your ends where all that product has been. So I'm going to teach you what you can do. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is try and section my hair. I'm going to go as smoothly and gently as possible and just try and separate my hair into 2 different sections, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to start brushing my hair out. But if you just start at the top, you're going to rip a ton of hair out. You're going to cause more damage than good by how forceful you're going to have to be. And so it always helps if you can just separate it into 2 sections. Or more if your curls are tight enough that you can, like separate them pretty easily, then do more. But usually mine are such a mess that just getting it into 2 sections is enough of a task. And to avoid issues like this, just include that whole section. So instead of trying really hard to like split curls, you can just grab the entire curl. It's not like this part needs to be straight for any reason, So once I have it split into my sections, then I'm going to clip that top part up, because the first step is brushing. I love my wet brush. It's from the brand, the wet brush. The bristles are long and skinny and flexible, so it works so much better than any other brush that I've ever tried. Technically it's made for wet hair, but the bristles are amazing for any hair, honestly. I use it on all of my clients, and almost all of the stylists at my work use it on all of their clients too. We all just love it. And it's really cheap. You can find it at Target, you can find it on Amazon. I'll have a link to it down in the description box below if you want to find one for yourself. And now I'm going to lower the second half. You can really see the difference that just brushing makes. So when you're brushing, make sure you start at the ends and then work your way up. If you start from the top, you're just going to make this huge knot that's going to be so difficult to brush out. You're going to cause damage. Those split ends are going to fray even more. So start at the ends and then work your way up. And I like to have smaller sections that I'm working with instead of doing a whole huge amount. So crazy what one side versus the other is just from brushing. Like, I turned into a lion. It's so fluffy and airy and poof. Okay, now all of my curls are brushed out. One thing to keep in mind, after you've scrunched your hair and applied that mousse or the gel or any of that product, hairs that normally would have just fallen out throughout the day, those are actually they're not going to be able to escape because there's product clinging it to the other hairs. And so even though it's naturally, like it naturally would have fallen out at the root, it's not going to actually all the way come through. So after you brush your hair from doing something like this, don't be scared by all of the hair that's left in your brush. It's just that finally those hairs that naturally would have fallen out anyway have a chance to escape. So that's what all of this is. Now, step 2 for me is always dry shampoo. I hate looking at the oil and the grease, and I want to make sure that my scalp gets that controlled. So I will just go in with my all-time favorite, and that's this one by Batiste. If you would like to know how I apply my dry shampoo, I've actually done an entire video all about it, so I will link that in the description box below. Okay, now that my greasy hair is more controlled, I can get a fair assessment of where I'm going to go from here. So next, what I'm going to do is apply some serum or some healthy something to make it softer, because right now, because of all of the product that I had in there yesterday, it feels really dry and brittle and hay-like, and I want it to be softer. All I'm going to do is, first, I'm going to take the It's a 10 Miracle Leave-In Spray, and I'm just going to spray my ends with this. One of the things that I've noticed about it is it acts like a leave-in conditioner, in the sense that there's some conditioning agents in there. And when I apply this when my hair is wet, when I get out of the shower, I use it on my girl's hair. But I feel like I get the most benefits out of it when I'm applying it like this, where my hair is totally dry and like in need of some moisture and some conditioning. And so as I apply this, it's really hard to go too heavy-handed, and my hair instantly feels refreshed and softer and smoother. And as I do that, I scrunch my hair again. I'm not going to try and get rid of any of this curl that's already here. Well, maybe I'll try and soften some of this weird bump, but instead of trying to like straighten my hair when I had it tightly scrunched yesterday, that's just going to add more damage to my hair. It's going to be more work, it's going to take more time, and I don't want to do any of those things. So instead, I'm going to just try and give it that beachy wave look and make it look curled, but not as tight as it was yesterday, and not as like sectioned. Instead, today it's going to be a little bit fluffier, a little bit looser, and a little bit more beachy. So first things first, put some moisture back in my ends because they needed it so bad. Get them back to how they were. So now I'm just kind of going to let that air dry and scrunch it a little. Okay, the next product that I'm going to use is this one by Diva Curl. Is it Diva Curl or Diva Curl? I don't know. These are the products that I used, well, this is the brand of products that I used yesterday when I scrunched my hair. I love their Ultra Defining Gel for scrunching and for that just out of the shower first day. scrunched hair look. It revitalizes my curls, it enhances them, it gives it a good hold, and I just love them. But this one, this by David Curl, this is called Mr. Right, and what it says right here is it's a lavender curl revitalizer. So it does have a strong lavender scent, and it's just very, very liquidy. It's not very hairspray, it's more just kind of like the It's a 10. It's just very conditioning and watery, but it does help revitalize my curls. So I sprayed the It's a 10 on this bottom part of my hair where it was the most dry. This mid shaft right here isn't very dry, but it still needs to have those curls amped up. So the It's a 10 was down here, the Mr. Right is right here, and dry shampoo is right here. So basically my hair gets covered in a whole lot more product. For those of you that don't think that this hold would stay on its own, that as it air dried it would start to fall because you know that your curls aren't tight enough for that, then this product, also by David Curl, is perfect. It's called their spray gel, and it is more like a hairspray or a spray gel, and it will give you that added hold so that you can guarantee that these curls will keep what you've scrunched into them and will hold throughout the day. So usually my curls, the places where they fall is right around my face because I'm brushing those away more so than the rest of my hair. So I'm gonna just spray a little bit on those sections. And if I feel like anywhere is too frizzy, then I just take one finger and kind of comb it through and then just re-scrunch it. That way I'm not getting rid of the curl indefinitely, but I can just kind of comb through that too much frizz and then give it the structure back of a wave instead of straightening it out. Does that make sense? Okay, so this is basically what I would feel comfortable with. I don't feel comfortable leaving the house in a lion's mess or with almost dreadlocks, but this beachy wave, this, you know, the more natural looking soft bend in the hair is something that I love. I get compliments on this look all the time, especially as it dries, because things like this right here, where it still looks a little bit wet, that goes away and I'm just left with fluffy, soft, romantic curls. Hey guys. Okay, so this look is me waking up from the other day's hair, and I've got these dreadlock things going. I'm going to do the same thing as before, but this time try and give it a sleeker, softer, waved look. This is another hairstyle that I do when my hair has been scrunched the day before. It makes it so that all of this texture and like the messiness just happens all on its own. All I have to do is flip my head upside down, put it in a ponytail, don't pull it all the way through, and that makes this first one, and then you've got all these long ends, and then I just flip those ends back around and tuck them into that same rubber band right there. And that is how I make this. I just make sure that I've got some that frame some of my fringe framing my face so that it doesn't look too like messy right here and perfect right here. But I feel like it does a good job at giving a little bit of volume, some texture, and some of that pieciness, but without having to try very hard. So instead of brushing my hair and really trying to, you know, clean up those dreads that I talk about that we're starting, instead I just use them. And that's where all of this fun texture comes from. So hopefully this will give you some ideas of another way to get another day's use out of your scrunched hair. So hopefully you guys learned something and you will be able to not feel like you have to just get in the shower and wash your hair all over again every time after you scrunch it, but instead that there are other options of things that you can do. Thanks for watching. How much volume can one girl get? I don't know. Haven't found out yet. Oh, why do you watch me? I'm so weird. Right? This needs to be transformed. So just keep watching and I'll turn this lion's mess into something actually socially acceptable. Yay! For me, so move on to. So yeah, we're done. Ta-da! So that was probably a disaster. Let's be honest, that's what that was.